Here we are, we're on the Specialized Aethos, ready for the Stage 6 time trial for Chasing Suisse. Unfortunately, I don't quite have those aero socks unlocked ready to use, which I wish I did, but they're close. We are on Ven 10 and we are underway for the final stage time trial. Here we go. It's about a half an hour effort. There are lots of scenarios that could possibly happen, and I'll talk you through them soon. On the right hand side, I've got the times, roughly the times I need to do to basically win the stage, to win the GC, second, third, and then what is required to get us over the line over Sisu in the team's win. Before I speak about that, because there's plenty of time to do so, going to talk through my pacing strategy in the early stages. Now, apart from getting out until I hit speed pretty hard, once I got onto this section, I wanted to really take it pretty comfortably and in control because for two reasons. The first reason being that bit unsure about how the health is, so I kind of just wanted to listen to my body and let that dictate how much I wanted to push today. That's another reason why I've got these times there as well. The second reason being that the course is just so heavily weighted in the back end to wanting a strong finish. So the first third in terms of time of the course is at a far shallower gradient than the last 20 minutes. So the plan was to kind of settle in, see what that netted me before I kind of went to kick it up a notch. So I'm averaging 360 watts. Now, as a bit of a guide, I think to win the GC, I probably need to average somewhere between 360 to 365 watts. So basically, that's my equivalent at my weight as to what Ruben put down overnight, who was a second ahead of me on the GC. Adrian had a ripper ride, 45 seconds faster. As you can see, that's the stage win time there. And I'm feeling really controlled at the moment. I'm seeing good signs with the data that the heart rate's not over 160 yet. That I'm obviously feeling pretty good. And that's going to let me dictate how the second half goes. Now, in my head, I'm very ready when the gradients go really steep to push it up a notch. But given the past few days, I wasn't really sure if I'd be able to sustain that for a short amount of time, or if that was going to be a sustainable power right through the end and how I'd respond or maybe deteriorate through that effort. But for now, I'm feeling in control of the effort, almost a third of the way through the TT. And it's at this stage that I'm pretty comfortable that I'm going to at least get top two on the GC. For that to happen, it would probably be like an average of maybe 345 watts, I'd say 350 perhaps. But yeah, all early signs are good, and that I'm not going to blow up. Which as I said, I really wasn't sure. Given yesterday's stage was pretty easy, I was just able to kind of nurse myself through and live to fight another day. Little bit of downhill, which is welcome on this course. And you can see this gradient map on the middle of the screen there. That's where the plan was to kick it up a notch and hopefully have more to give. But I really wasn't sure until that point came. So we start lifting the power up into high 390 watts. And again, because I have a rough idea of what I need to do to win, I'm able to kind of settle into something that I know as I hit a lap split there. So follow along that lap split. That'll tell you the watts for this little section into the final. I knew I didn't have to try and strive for anything like 400 or anything like that. So the goal was to kind of settle into 380 plus and see where that got me. Obviously, I played for some mind games with myself in steeper sections. I wanted that to be 390 plus, even over 400 on these upcoming steeper parts. As you can see, I'll probably kick that up to over 400 when I get into this little section here, and then back to that kind of sustainable, hopefully, for until the 30-minute mark of the TT. Now, I knew that if I was able to sustain that through this middle 10 minutes, that even if things didn't quite go to plan, I'd have a bit of a buffer heading into the final 10 minutes. But at this stage, I'm still feeling, legs is feeling great today, like no dramas at all there. And in terms of like aerobically and stuff, like I felt really controlled as well. So all signs were good. An unexpected position to be in. Racing slot 4 on a Monday. The other thing that I think is motivating too is that because the first half of the course was shallower, you can see that 7.1 kilometers, and it seems like there's less mileage to go to the finish. Even though you know it's going to be a 30-minute effort, you can you think, okay, I'm like 2/3 of the way there. I'm almost there type thing. So and getting that good feedback. 388 for this lap as well, like 6 minutes or so in, and also knowing that that's going to be a pretty close to 20-minute effort. So you know those kind of little motivating drivers are there as well. So 3.8k to go, and I'm feeling pretty comfortable that I should be able to win the GC. I'm still thinking that the stage win it's certainly not sewn up because Adrian averaged 5.8 or 5.9 watts a kilo. So that one's far from sewn up after my conservative-ish start. But if I can maintain the way I'm going, then I'm probably on track to be able to do that as well. And given that I'm able to kick up over 400 on these steeper ramps, I think that's a sign that I'm kind of I'm managing the effort well and pacing things pretty nicely at this stage, which I'm super stoked about. Given how the week has gone, it's been quite an interesting 6 days. If you watch back the recaps, it's all happened. So it's been a cool little series, and if I go under that time, which the 31:02, which I should at this stage, it's nice to win the Chasing Swiss Tour back to back. It's certainly the most challenging of the Eco series from a terrain point of view. It's obviously been a pretty hilly week, and so that's a good fun one for someone like me to get around. As the gradients go orange, you might notice that my power drops off a bit. That's like a pacing kind of thing. I allow myself to dip back into the 360s, 370s before kicking it back up in those red sections, knowing that the final, like 1,500 meters, is pretty steep again. So that lap's looking pretty good. 388 watts there. I think that's about 6.1 watts a kilo on today's weight. I was a little bit heavier this morning than what I have been, so updated that in game. But yeah, so I think 380 ish is about 6 today. So that's a bit of a gauge there. So this current lap is about 6.1, whereas the total average is probably a touch over 5.9 as we're heading into the last kind of 5 minutes of the time trial now. So hopefully you've stayed with me till this point. Let me know your thoughts on the chasing series, what you like about it, what you don't like. Maybe your thoughts on some of the rules in terms of the GC or the bike situation that we're faced in this tour. The next tour for the Eco Series is the Chasing Yellow. So obviously 3-week grand tour mimicking the Tour de France. I won't be in contention for that GC at all. I'll be away the first probably 4 days on a bit of a holiday, which would be nice. So I'll do a few stages here and there to help the guys out. And in most of those stages, I'm sure there'll be some hilly ones, but it won't be like every day. So if the TT bike stuff remains, there might be 3 or 4 stages where something like that happens, but it won't be a daily occurrence, I wouldn't imagine. As we're heading into the last 700 now, I'm kicking it up to over 400 watts. I'm going to take the win on the stage as well, which is a cool way to finish it off. I think this is my third best 20 and 30 minute of all time, which I'm really happy with. I know I'm in really good form for those kind of efforts. If I was to outlay one on my best day, I'm excited to see what I could do for those kind of efforts. knowing that last night in SRC, the world champion did 6.4 for an hour. So that's the kind of level that's the top level. So I've still got plenty of way to go if we want to be to anywhere near that kind of standard, and probably not possible. But anyway, I'm happy with where I'm at. There's the results, 6-ish for 29:30. There's the GC results. We swept the podium, the Rainbow Chasers, with me, Ruben, Adrian. So it's what we wanted at the start of the week, and it's what we did. So that's fantastic. And in the global TT, we've managed to come over the top of Sisu with that top 3 placings on the stage. So thanks for tuning into the series. I'll catch you in the next video, whatever that might be. See ya.